Hey, all, TC Kirkham here, TKR Video Central and the Kirkham Report, and TKR Chart Zone as well. Welcome to this first special edition of this new show I've been trying to do for months. It is called TC's Vinyl Archive, the Complete Album Collection. It's inspired by my friend Richard McCook over in the UK. Richard did this about a year and a half ago, and I noticed some other vinyl community members have been doing it as well. I've been meaning to do it for months. But I'm going to start off with this one. I'm not going to show anything on this one. I just want to tell you what it's going to be about. Because I do my collections in the weirdest way. I want to talk about how you're going to see things. I separate and sort my collection. I don't think anybody else does it the same way I do. And I wrote this up on the website a couple of years ago. It's a topic that crops up in the vinyl community all the time. And I've really been amazed at how crazy some people are when it comes to storing and sorting their music collections. Some people are totally obnoxious about it. You have to do it this way. You can't do it any other way. Which is just bullshit. You need to come up with a method that's comfortable for you on how to sort your collection. Now, my collection is sorted into a bunch of different categories and a bunch of different segments. And over the course of the next however long this takes to do, I will be doing it in order. So I want to go through it, how you're likely to see at least the first four parts, and then the later parts I'll decide as I get there. I just recently got everything sorted and put together so that I can do this. And I still need to sort a few things, but not the majority of it. It's all done. So I've been using this method since I was a teenager. I'm 63 years old now. I started this when I was about 13 or 14, so about 50 years ago. I've been sorting my albums this way. And it's always been comfortable for me. Your mileage may vary. Some people like to do them, alphabetically, artist. I know a couple people in the vinyl community do them by artist first name, which I would find impossible to do. Other people do it by last name or group name. Whatever works for you is what you need to do. The way I do it is it simplifies things for me. Makes it easy to find, makes it easy to put back, super, easy in the way that I do things, so I know where everything goes. You need to do what you need to do for you. So, in the LP cases, first are general releases by individual artists. I do not separate the genres in this case. This is rock, pop, soul, and country. It does not include instrumentals, and I'll talk about that in a minute. This first section, the individual artist section, makes up the bulk of my collection. I don't sort by genre at all on the main artists. I know some people do, and if that works for you, that's great. For me, I prefer to do a general category. And it's subdivided into four groups: male artists, female artists, duos and groups, in that order. Male, female, duos, and groups. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I do have a few adjustments that you'll need to know as we go through this. First, solo albums by group members are in the proper category for what it is. So, for the Kiss solo albums, Kiss is in the groups. The four solo albums are alphabetical by the last name of the male artist doing it. So you will find Frehley under F, Gene Simmons under S, Peter Criss under C, and Paul Stanley under S in the male vocalist section, not in the group section. Some people group these albums and solo albums by other mainstream maps like the Beatles or Beach Boys with their respective groups. I don't. I've never done that. I don't know why. I never really thought of it the first, years ago when I started this. But this works for me. The females are done the same way. I do have one exception from recent pickups. In the female artists, all of the songs, all of the albums that were reissued by Vinyl Me Please as part of the Vinyl Me Parton collection from Dolly Parton are grouped together in chronological order following Dolly's regular releases. So when we get there, you'll see a couple of those a couple of times, once in the regular and once in the Vinyl Me Parton collection. And they'll all be in one place, and they're filed with Dolly, not as a separate P in the females. The duos category is tricky. If the front duo leads a larger band, I have to make a decision as to which way to go. Larger album credited backup band is why Air Supply won't show up until we do the groups. Even though Graham Russell and Russell Hitchcock are the primary members and are usually the only ones on the artwork after the third album, they are fronting a larger band. So they're considered a band. Sanford Townsend Band, however, 2 people, is in duos. Dwight Twilley Band is the same way. There's solo stuff by Dwight Twilley and Phil Seymour in the solo sections, but the 2 of them together are in the duos. Don't be fooled by bands that have proper names of some sort. There is nobody named Danny Wilson in the band, Danny Wilson, and there is no Sawyer Brown in that band either. They're both groups, so they are under D for Danny Wilson, S for Sawyer Brown, and that happens for others as well. The only exception to this is Alice Cooper, and I don't have any Alice Cooper albums. Kim does, but I don't. I will show you her albums also as part of this, because she has only a small section. Alice, as an artist, goes in the C category, and he's the same way in singles. I have only Alice Cooper singles, and they're all under the male C category, because I have the singles divided into the 4 groups as well. After those 4 groups is the soundtrack section. I love pop soundtracks. I love movie scores. This section is quite large. It's not going to be as large as Beth's collection, who I know is a big score and soundtrack fan. It is alphabetical by the title of the project it's from. It includes music soundtracks, movie soundtracks, TV soundtracks, video game soundtracks, Broadway soundtracks or cast albums, and anything else that fits into the genre, like radio production music and sound effects. I mean, there is stuff in this category from Airport, Cal, Flash Beagle, Karate Kid, Miami Vice, The Electric Company, Zoom, Star Wars, Star Trek. They're all together in this category. And they're alphabetical by the title of the film or television show or production, not by the composer. A spoken word project comes from a film or TV show. It's in this category also. Like of Love and Hope, Beauty and the Beast album is part of the soundtrack album, as is the convention album Inside Star Trek. There are exceptions. Artists and groups that were prefabricated for a television show will be in the individual artist section. That's Partridge Family, Brady Bunch, Lancelot Lincoln and the Evolution Revolution, Groovy Ghoulies, as well as Mary Kay Place, who is under her name rather than Loretta Haggers, even though Haggers was the artist on the first album. It was Mary Kay Place, Loretta Haggers at whatever club it was. So, she's under Place, obviously. They're classed in the general artist category. You following me so far? As I know this can get confusing. The next section is also one of my largest sections, and I'm going to have a lot of fun talking about it when we get there, and that's the instrumental section. This encompasses new age, jazz, smooth jazz, beautiful music, lounge music, and some pop and disco artists that are primarily instrumental. This is one of those places where I deviate from my distinction. Joe Satriani, which I have a few albums by, I have mostly CD and digital by him, but I have a lot of albums too, is in the male artists S. Miko is in the instrumental, because most of his stuff is primarily instrumental. And he's primarily a producer. He's only an artist. He only plays trombone on these. So I class him as instrumental. That also goes for Love Unlimited Orchestra. They're primarily instrumental disco. They do have some vocals on some of the songs. Other acts you will find in this section include Herb Alpert, both alone and with the Tijuana Brass, Jackie Gleason, 101 Strings, Kenny G, albums from the Muzak Service, Dave Brubeck, Vince Guaraldi, Andreas Vollenweider, Dave Grusin, and a ton of others. We'll get to them when we get there. It is predominantly male-oriented. There are a few females. Most of the female New Age artists I have on CD or on digital that I use a lot on Celestial Journeys. I also put nature albums and environments albums in the instrumental section. Next up, the holiday section. This is all Christmas albums and the few Halloween things I have in this section divided into Christmas and Halloween. This includes individual artists who would normally be in the other section. If they have a Christmas album, it's in the Christmas albums. Instrumentals the same way, like Herb Alpert Christmas album wouldn't be in the instrumental, it would be in the Christmas album section. It also includes soundtracks that consist primarily of holiday music, like a Charlie Brown Christmas. Instead of soundtracks, it's in the Christmas albums. Next up is the greatest hits section. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's all the hits collections, all the hits collections excluding box sets, with artists in all genres. So far, so good. Now we're going to get into the really weird, specific stuff that I have. Next up is the various artists compilations category. Now, there are three subsets of this. First, there's various artists or compilations from any mix of artists that are not soundtrack or holiday albums. Then there are three subdivisions: all the K-Tel albums, all the Warner Loss Leaders, and all the Eurovision soundtracks. Those are kept separately. They're part of that section, but they're after those. It'll be pretty self-explanatory once we get there. Next up is the large collection of radio transcriptions I have. Now, these can go way back. I got one from my stepfather years ago that comes from a 1940s or 50s radio program. I can't remember the title of it. I haven't played it since I was like 12. And it was a transcription directly from the radio. But this also includes the albums that come from American Top 40, Casey's Top 40, Rick D's Weekly Top 40, Dick Clark's National Music Survey, the Robert W. Morgan Special of the Week, Record Report, all of those. Anything that was originally designed to be played on the radio as a show is in the radio transcription section. And again, they're filed alphabetically by title, and then they're sorted by date, because a lot of them were dated. Then the 12-inch singles. I have a huge selection of 12-inch singles going way back to the mid-'80s. I even have a couple from the late 70s. I got my first 12-inch in 1977. It was a disco version of the Bob Newhart theme. I got it in a cutout bin for like 50 cents. I had I Want Your Love by Chic on pink vinyl when it first came out. I lost that in my move cross country when I was 18. But I've amassed a ton of them in the 80s, and I bought a ton of them since I joined the vinyl community and sales and stuff from various dealers on Discogs, because I love 12-inch mixes, as if the disco show doesn't show that. Those are next, and they're alphabetically by artist right through, not separated by year or anything. They're all together. Now, one category that's brand new, the newest division I made in my collection, happened after I joined the vinyl community. I have a category that includes only selections released on Record Store Day and Record Store Day Black Friday. I know what they are. So they will be there when I grab them. This includes anything and everything that wasn't a box set. So If it doesn't have an actual box with it, like the Jonathan Winters collection, which was in just a regular sleeve with 3 albums, the 2 War box sets are in the box sets category, and so on. Um, Although they will, I think, didn't I do that? Yeah, I did. I think they might be in the Record Store Day section. I'm not sure, but they came out Record Store Day. So this houses mostly reissues, of course. You'll see the reissues of Donna Summer's various stuff, the Rumors album by Fleetwood Mac, the alternate one, the Jonathan Winters, several soundtracks, the specialty hits collections like the Kenny Loggins movie collection. All of that is in the Record Store Day section. Next up is miscellaneous, and it's subdivided as needed. I have a few classical albums, a few comedy albums, 2 or 3 spoken word records, some instructional albums, which are like Richard Simmons, Body by Jake, stuff like that, disco dancing instructions. Those are all together as well. Then when we get to the end, there will be a couple of cubes that I have separately. There's new releases, which are the stuff that I would have currently on my chart and yet to listen to, which are some older stuff or some more recent stuff that I haven't listened to yet. The most recent stuff is in an oob cube over here, and the new releases, I haven't pulled out of that yet, but I will. The yet to listen to box is filled to the brim with stuff I haven't had time to listen to on vinyl yet, although some of it I have listened to online or on digital, like the Finn Wolfhard Happy Birthday. I love that album. I've not listened to the vinyl. I have the CD, and I also downloaded the digital because it came with it. So I've listened to that numerous times, but I have not yet played the vinyl because my speakers are not working properly at the moment. I have box sets. I don't have very many. What I've bought in recent years has been from Record Store Day. I had a few from earlier. They were mostly CD, but I will still include those. The only things I have on vinyl box set wise are the War box sets, the 2 from the band, and then the one that came out from Eric Burdon and War. Everything else is CD, and of those I have smaller single box collections of some that came with like cardboard sleeves for the CDs, and I have complete box set style CDs. So you'll see both of those. There are a couple of specialty sets I have there too. I thought about dividing my Eurovision stuff, but actually I don't get enough of the individual artists on vinyl to do that. The only ones I've got are, besides the Eurovision albums themselves, are Daddy Freyer and John's Tears. I think are the only ones I've found on vinyl. So the rest of them are, it didn't seem any point in putting them in a separate section. So if I go back and start collecting the really early Eurovision stuff, that might be different. I might do that. I haven't done that because I can't afford it. But because a lot of that stuff, especially if you go way back, is a fortune to get a hold of. The 45s I won't be doing in this manner or in this series, but they're divided into the same 4 categories: male, female, duo, and group. I do have a miscellaneous category for that does just have some weird kiddie records, flexi discs, multi-artist stuff from Scholastic I got when I was a kid. And of course I have 20 plus boxes of 45s that aren't sorted yet that I've received from Dawn and Mary over the years. So that's going to have to be done. And 99.3 of those are from the USA. There's a few. I don't have a lot of foreign singles. I have a few. There's some from Canada. I know I have at least one from Denmark. I have 2 or 3 from Ireland. 5 or 6, I don't know, we might be in the 20s or 30s, including all the stuff I bought from Dawn and Mary, of stuff from the UK, and 2 or 3 from Japan. The rest are all US domestic releases. So I will go over that eventually at some point. The 45s are going to be a really long show to do, and I'm debating on a way to do it. But as far as this goes, I thought this would be a good primer And when I pick this up on the next show, we will start with the males. The first section will be A through, I believe, John Denver in that first cube. And I'm going to do them cube by cube unless it's for the male and female and duos and groups. I'll do all the duos at once because I only have 2 or 3 cubes of those. But male, female, and groups I will divide into shows by cube. And then sections, soundtracks, there'll probably be 2 or 3 shows. All the greatest hits will be in one show. The instrumentals might be 2 shows. The record store day might be 2 shows because I have almost 3 cubes full of those. It'll depend. In any case, this is my way of sharing the bizarre shit I have in this collection. I have a lot of popular stuff. I'm a pop music guy, so a lot of it is pop. But I might surprise people with some of the stuff that shows up. And I hope I do. I hope you'll watch it. And I hope you'll take the time to subscribe to the channel. Please listen to the whole show and send it to friends that can listen and help my view rate come up. It appears, we're not sure, that I'm having monetization issues. I can't monetize anything with music in it, but shows like this I can, but for some reason it won't let me right now. And we're trying to figure out why. And right now I can use it, as you know. There is a thing at the top of the notes for our GoFundMe, as well as all the other ways you can support, including Ko-Fi, Patreon, and through our swag shop. Buy some of our t-shirts. And I hope you'll really like this show. And I hope to have the first show up in a week or so. Until then, for TC's Vinyl Archive, the complete album collection, I am TC Kirkham, and I will see you on the interwebs. Ciao, baby.